So today I want to talk about how to really vet people that you're listening to on like social media. So obviously, now in 2023, social media is really big. There's a lot of content out there, but I would say you got to choose who you listen to and who you take advice from carefully, and be very critical and think about it. Right? So like, there's a lot of like financial YouTubers out there. And if you look at it, they made most of their wealth on YouTube, right? They built a personal brand. They get ad revenue, sponsorships. They might sell course, mentorship. And if you look at it, they built their wealth like literally just reading a bunch of articles, summarizing those articles, and then regurgitating it to you. And then because they, hacked the YouTube algorithm, they built up a decent following, right? But just know that a lot of these YouTubers, look how they built their wealth. And if they built the majority of their wealth through YouTube, then that's how they built their wealth. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like if you want to learn from them on how to build wealth through YouTube, that's great, right? But take their advice with a grain of salt, because are they actually doing what they're sharing, right? Like, and why I say that is a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, they'll talk about like real estate, like, oh, real estate's a great way to make money. You should do this. There's 4 ways to make money from real estate, right? Cash flow, principal pay down, depreciation, appreciation, right? Like that's common. But do they actually own real estate, right? Because I hear a lot of advice. I'm like, dude, you own like one single family home that you live in. Like, you're not a landlord. So just be very careful on who you listen to, and are they actually doing what they say. So like for me, I don't need to like research anything, because I owned 90 units of real estate without partners. I renovate all of it. I operate it, right? I vetted a property manager, a general contractor, renovate 50 units, brought a deal from start to finish off market, got my financing in place, renovate it, do the value add plan, did the cash out refinance. So I'm the operator, right? But a lot of people on YouTube, they may not be the operator. They might be part of a syndication group, and maybe they're just a marketing person, and they just regurgitate and memorize a slide deck, and they don't know the operations, right? So like they can say the nice buzzwords to get you excited to invest money, but they don't really know much about operations. So that's what I mean. You have to take the context of a grain of salt, right? Like, yeah, it's impressive for a syndicator to have like 1,000 units, but like, what part of the team are they in the syndication? Are they the operator? And know their motivation. Are they trying to sell you something, right? Like, if you ask like the analogy I like to give is, if you go to a life insurance agent, what do you think they're going to tell you the best investment vehicle is? It's life insurance. If you go to a real estate agent, what do you think they're going to say the best investment is? Real estate. If you ask a barber, do I need a haircut? They're going to say yeah. If you ask a mechanic, do I need a oil change? Of course they'll say yes, right? Like, they're incentivized to say yes to that. So that's what I mean by like, critical think when you're asking for advice. Understand the context that they're coming from, right? Like, understand the context and what their skills and background is, right? Like, like, just know that. Like, that's why I try to be super transparent, as you know, right? Give the good, the bad, the ugly, the truth, and in an ironic way, because I'm so transparent, it's bad at marketing, right? Because I'll tell you the truth. I'm like, there's no such thing as easy, quick money, and if you join my mentorship, my course, with that mentality, you're not going to be successful, right? I already know. So don't bother doing it, right? So so just be really cognizant of who you get advice from, because like I listen to like so many people. They'll just be like, yeah, I bought 3 RV parks in 1 year, and now I'm like expert at it. I'm like, but you haven't brought any of these deals full cycle, right? That's why for me, I just document what I'm journeying, what I'm doing, what I'm learning. Because like, at the time, I didn't do full cycle yet, right? But now I've done 3 deals full cycle, right? I bought my 26 unit, but for $500,000, put in 300,000, all in for 800, and now it's worth 1.6. And I renovate all of it. It's grossing $18,000 a month, and I'm netting 10K, right? 20 unit, had a hard money loan on it, renovated 15 to 20 units, put in 120K, did a catch up refinance, and pulled out half my money, right? Mobile home park, bought it, renovated it, bad property management, deal failed, sold it for a loss. So I brought 3 deals full cycle now, right? So now I have a little bit of a background, a track record. So, I kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit now, right? So have the context, right? Versus, did this guy just buy 3 deals 3 months ago and now he's talking like he's an expert, right? So like, you really have to be careful of who you listen to and the context behind it, right? And the person you're listening to, are they actually in the weeds doing the operations, or are they just a marketing guy? Just know the difference, right? So I will say it's ironic, like at my level of real estate, like just because someone has a real estate license or a real estate broker don't assume that they know a lot of stuff, right? Like don't assume that. Like I know a lot of real estate agents, they don't own any real estate, and they sell they make $1 million a year in commission, but they own zero real estate themselves. Like, how does that make sense? Like I always thought, if you're in real estate, wouldn't you want to own real estate yourself? Or you're telling it's the best investment, but look at you only own a single family, your primary residence. You don't own any real estate. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm actually doing it. I'm not licensed, but I know more than most real estate agents and brokers, like at least 95%. Taxes. I'm not a CPA, but I do my own taxes with real estate. I probably do know more than like 90% of CPAs in terms of real estate, right? At least high level conceptual. Life insurance, like, at one point I did get my life insurance exam, but the whole life insurance agents that try to sell me, all they talked about was how amazing it was and it's tax free, but they didn't know how to like max fund it and be more nuanced. And like they're like, oh, life insurance is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, yeah, it's a nice vehicle for a certain purpose, but it's not for everybody, right? Like you should only be doing it if you can max fund it for 7 years and you can afford that, right? So making decent money. So you have to know the context and the nuance of who you listen to and who you're taking advice from, right? Like even me, I'm pretty transparent. Like right now, I don't, have kids in a family. So the advice I give may change once I have that, right? But I am a pretty busy working W-2 professional. I'm very efficient at what I do, so I can still give you some tips on how to be more efficient, how to prioritize this, right? So it's really having that nuance and that context and understanding basically why you're doing something, right? Like why are you doing this? So be very nuanced in who you take advice from, right? Like a lot of these YouTubers that, like Brandon Turner, that have $1 billion assets under management, just know that his main role is he just raises money using his personal brand, his social media presence, and then he would just give money to operators that he vets, and that's it, right? So like, he says it's $1 billion, but he doesn't own $1 billion himself. But like he definitely, if you add up collectively, yeah, he has $1 billion assets under management. So just know that on social media, people tend to overinflate things, right? Like, like for me, I could easily get like a Audi R8 or a nice car, Ferrari, and then like flex it on YouTube, but I don't, right? I don't. I know it doesn't get me more views and more clicks and more likes, and people perceive you as rich, but just know that the people who flex their wealth, they're actually not like truly, they're either really, really rich or like they're just fake trying to be rich, right? Because the true, like I'm worth 5 million, and you can walk by me on the street, you can't even tell I'm worth 5 million. I look just like you, right? I look normal, like nothing special, right? But the people who look so lavish and like, oh yeah, I made all this money, like don't fall for that trap, right? So like a lot of people, even on bigger pockets, some of the guests they bring on, like you can just tell like they just made 1 or 2 success and they're on there, right? And they look a lot better than what they really are. But once you're more advanced like me and you've been through it like me, you can weed out who is good and who's not good, right? But it just takes time to do that, and it takes you doing it a lot, right? So like, I'm an operator and I can know who other operators are based on what they're telling me, right? How realistic are they? How am I able to vet property management? So, hopefully you found, value from this, and just be cognizant on who you take your advice from, who you're listening to. And like you said, there's something that you can always learn from people, but just like you said, take it with context and be very intentional and critical. Think about what nuggets can I pull from this that will help me, but just know that like not everything they say may be the full truth. So hopefully you found value from this video. Let me know if you have any comments or questions down below. Please share it if you found this valuable. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.